Right, I feel like maybe we are restarting our videoing. I don't want to do a 10-minute drive around and then find that I've messed up with the SD card. Here's a nice mosque, look at that for a start. It's quite a large community mosque. So we are, I don't know if you can see there, that shopping mall there is the Bin Sugat Centre, which is one of the oldest malls in Dubai. So we're in Rashidiya, the place of Rashid. Now my guess is it's something to do with Sheikh Rashid. And look at this, we're in the shade. It's lovely, isn't it? Yes. These are old style villas. We'll just slowly drive past these ones. And then where they've been cleared here, I put up the new townhouses. Not quite as charming, but there you go. That's how Dubai is. And there's some construction going on here. It's quite a big plot, quite a lot going on there. Here's a nice plot. Somebody will have their eyes on that, I'm sure. The thing that we like the most about Rashidiya is the trees, which are everywhere, basically. Beautiful, really nice green, verdant neighbourhood. And what I like also is, look at here, kind of where people have got a little bit of land between their perimeter fence and the pavement. They've built a little Barasti farm area or something like that. Nice water fountains, personalised their space. It's nice, almost like a bit like a farming community in a way. Excuse me. Here's some more new builds in front of us here. Not so bad though, are they? They're alright. This one, I mean, nice wide open streets. There you go. Some older villas along with some newer villas, so that's a newish one. On this side they seem to be a bit older style. It's nice, you've got the Ramadan crescent moon and stars out. See, it's not night time, so I can't see them all lit up. Here's some new builds. I don't know who does the new building. I don't know if the locals who own the original villa plots, if they do it, if they get a grant, if the government do it for them. The telecoms tower, not very interesting. This is the back side of I think a fairly old villa compound. But if you look ahead, you've got a nice archway of trees over the street, and that's nice. Somebody's got their boat parked up here. There you go. Oh, nice for them. So I think there's a mix of expats and locals in this area. I just saw something there that I like. We'll have to do a U-turn. So here's some nice trees overgrowing, providing some nice shade. And this is an old villa, look at that, with the round sort of facade. I like that, quite cool. Look down that street there, look at all the gaff trees, nice on both sides. Now, like I said, I've spotted something here that I quite like. One of my favourite features of any Dubai neighbourhood, in fact, is the occasional dusty side road. Here we go, look at this. Don't see too many of these anymore in Dubai. So technically now we're off-road. Nice, we're in the shade. There's a lady coming towards us. Hello. And then this is going to take us out. Look at that, either side we've got like more like multi-share buildings, I'd call those. Apartments. There's not much space to get under there, is there? Well, I don't need to go onto the main road, and that is obviously a main road behind us, so I think I shall retreat. I might turn the video off for this one, because what I don't want to do is to lose my bearings and crash into a wall or something like that. Back in a minute. Well, we made it safely back onto the main road. Do you know what, I was just thinking, if I won the lottery, I'd probably, and I just wanted to bum around in Dubai for a year or something like that, I'd probably move to Rashidiya over the other neighbourhoods. Forget the Palmer Marina, all that nonsense. No way. It's a car washer doing some car washing. I'd be out here listening to the bird song. Hopefully get a villa not too close to a construction. There's a plane landing at DXB. Flights have resumed. Shan't talk about that BS, so let's keep this strictly a street scene. So these are nice, all old school villas on this side. Look at that. So they have a big courtyard. Well, this is something. We're in a cul-de-sac. We don't get many of those in Dubai either. Look at this, nice with the date palms. And then I guess if you're a pedestrian or on a scooter, motorbike, you could maybe get down the middle of there. Just want to go and have a little rewind for that one. Look at that nice old villa. The bougainvillea outside. AC on the outside. It's not a new one. Probably been around since the 80s or even the 70s, possibly, some of these. There you go, somebody with a caravan. That's nice. Get a little beep. Unimog. Somebody's planning on an overland expedition. Looks like that's a fairly new build. There's a bit going on here, carports. Somebody feeding the pigeons. Oh, a couple of cockerels have turned up as well. There you go. Eating side by side, isn't that harmonious? See, that's what Rashidiya does, I think. I think it brings out the best in a person. Now, I'm not sure how much of my footage from earlier this morning will be saved, because it was very stop-starty and I was getting all sorts of technical messages on the screen about not recording. So this is Rashidiya. This is probably named after Sheikh Rashid, who guided Dubai. He was a ruler of Dubai until his death in the 90s, early 90s I think, but he was the ruler of Dubai through the 70s, the 80s and then into the 90s. And he was quite an inspirational leader for many. Look at this nice little garden out here. He kind of had the philosophy, build it and they will come. That's what he said about Jebel Ali Port, apparently, which is now like the world's second or third largest seaport for re-exporting and stuff like that. I think his advisors thought he was mad. It was going to cost millions and millions and possibly tens or hundreds of millions of dollars to do the dredging and everything required to build a seaport. He kind of said, well, you know, I'll take your advice on board, but we're going to build it anyway. And they did build it, and obviously it didn't start as the world's second or third largest seaport, but it has become that. So that's the sort of vision that he had at that time. I think we're going down a previously explored street, I'm afraid. If I can, I'd like to get onto the other side. Rashidiya is like split into two halves by the road ahead, so if I can get down to that, and we can have a look at the other half of Rashidiya. However, just in case I lost foot, look at that beautiful gaff tree ahead of us there. 2 or 3 of them on this road, in fact. Just in case I lost my footage from earlier, we'll have a little drive around here. So at the end of the street, that's the Bin Sugat Centre, which is a mall, one of the oldest in Dubai. Quite nice, very chilled if you want to have a little walk around somewhere indoors during the summer. There's not many major chains or anything like that there, but it's a nice relaxing space, 2 or 3 levels. Yeah, so Rashidiya is a bit more of a traditional. Look at these old villas there, see? Just the window. This isn't one of Rashidiya's more picturesque streets, I'll be honest. But on either side it's the old style, the old stuff. Somebody's got his jet ski parked out here. Nice old Range Rover. And cats are around. The dumpster. It looks like maybe multi-share villas in this patch of Rashidiya is what I'd guess. Looking at the number of cars parked and the people, Southeast Asians and Filipinos emerging from the gates and doorways. So, where were we going? We're just having a drive, aren't we? Just having a drive. Well, look at that. That's an old school Nissan Patrol there from the 1990s. Old rhino chasers. But I think this is where we started, isn't it? That was the community mosque and the tailoring shop. Come on, McNabb. We'll put our foot down for this section. In fact, I'll pause until I get where we want to get to. Okay? How's that sound? Well, we're moving to a new side of Rashidiya. Might as well film. There's no harm in doing so. So this is more of a new build area. I think Rashidiya police station is around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, in fact. So that's one of the main police stations in Dubai. One of the big head offices. Lulu hypermarket. Lulu. A decent hypermarket. Indian brand. There's somebody landing at the airport. It's always nice to see. And now we're moving into the other side of Rashidiya. And we'll see what this looks like. Well, there's obviously a big project going on there. I think I've just driven past it without really filming. Big open space. Not sure what we're beeping at here. Somebody want a cup of tea? Can't exactly tell. Blocking the road. Move. Whatever it is, this person is not very happy. There you go. The traffic congestion. Time to get off the road, I think. Right. And this is like we're back in the back streets. Look at the gaff trees. And there's somebody's created a little play park for their kids. It's nice, isn't it? It's lovely being in the shade like we are at the minute. Yeah, unfortunately all of these old villas, so you can see the old villa here, they've all gone down this street. They've all become more modern townhouses. Might be a little nursery or something like that. Which is kind of a shame, but you know. Still, at least they didn't tear all the trees up, which is the main thing. Look at this nice big gaff here. Oof, how thick that trunk is. There you go. Must have a radius of probably a metre, over a metre even. Nice little street avenues. Somebody's got their wood pile. Here's some old villas. There you go. There's a nice one. Been growing a banana palm. Some fruit and veg. Now this is interesting. That's one thing that Rashidiya is also. It's the terminal point at one end for the Dubai Metro. I'm not sure which line, green or red. But yeah, so there's a big multi-storey. And then the airport is just across the street from there. Ah, that's a shame. It's become a KFC. This used to be a lovely little Indian restaurant. Used to come here for paratha and a chai karak when I was starting my walks. Well, there's still a couple more. There's Kashmir Point. It's quite a popular chain in Dubai. There's a nice old, look at that. The old style wall like a fort. Nice wide street again. In the shade, out the shade. Listen to the birds. It's a nice old villa on that side. So, you know, Rashidiya's been modernised in patches, but in other areas it's kind of remaining quite charming, I think. I'm just going to spin around here. Oop. I'm going to have a little buzz. Oh, look at that. Mercedes 500 SEL. I almost bought one of those about 25 years ago. Yeah. Very nice. I remember it had two different sounding car horns. Had a city horn and a country horn. I thought that was quite a nice design feature. The city horn was a lot more, you know, get out my way, blah, 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 blah. The country horn was a little bit more like, you know, cows maybe in front of you or something. You don't want to startle them too much. A bit more muted, I suppose you would say. Here's another one of our water towers. Just on the side there. Somebody's done a little bit of, made their perimeter fence look a bit like a wadi there. Interesting design feature. I think out of my two halves of Rashidiya, I prefer the other half a little more. But this is quite pleasant in its own way. We'll do a little loop here and then we'll kind of finish. Any more interesting facts about Rashidiya that I can come up with? Well, I around about this area, in fact, I bought my Xbox One S. It was, I think it was actually here, believe it or not. On the Bizzle. Said I'll buy that, thank you very much. I drive around Rashidiya for a bit and then he came out and we exchanged, we transacted. Still have it, still use it, it's still my Xbox. There you go. It's totally had no shortage of interesting stories about this neighbourhood. Look at that, somebody prepared for the zombie apocalypse, I like that. On their overland vehicle. Huh. Security guard sitting out here. It's okay now that it's like the start of March and the temperatures in the mid-20s range. But in a few months when it's 35 degrees at 7 in the morning, it might not be quite as comfortable in his role. There's a new build getting painted. It's not as well, that did sound like two bumps, two bangs. I don't know what they could have been. It's a little side street. So always nice. Oh, it's a nice old villa. Actually, the gates are not open at the minute. Anyway, oh, well, whatever that was startled the birds. You can see them all flying around from the trees, so would have been something. I think we'll make this our little end of loop. So that was a little drive around Rashidiya. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, nice neighbourhood. Probably my favourite in Dubai. I'll tell you what we've got coming up next. We've got a drive around Al Badia, which is quite a nice new build zone of Dubai. Let's say new build, we're talking 15 years, so not new, but you know, not a traditional neighbourhood, if you like. And what else? Oh, we're going to go to Al Twa 2, which I drove around for like literally the first time just a few months ago, and it was quite cool. Might make that one into a night drive. Wouldn't that be exciting for you all? Yeah. Anyway, for now, from Rashidiya, we'll just finish here. Nice old villa. Thank you very much. Sayonara, suckers.